So, boys, welcome. Here we are. It is Sunday, Santiago de los Caballeros, and I'm in another nice apartment that I found on the outskirts. It's nice to be in the action in the centre, but it is nice when you find one of those apartments on the outskirts, a little bit more, cost effective, and we've got a little bit more space here. So I've been up in the city for 2 weeks now, did 1 week in the centre, 1 week in this new place here. I booked another 2 weeks, so I'm going to be staying here. And it's a calm, low-key city. It's basically surrounded by mountains on all sides. It's more the central area of the country, totally different microclimate, much more European actually. If there's a bit of cloud cover, you can actually feel like a breeze, like it's cool. It's not just this oven. Santo Domingo is just an oven. It's just a giant oven. This place is a little bit cooler. It's a little bit fresher. And it's very green as well. So yeah, it's been, I'm just looking out for my water delivery. The water delivery guy should be coming soon. But yeah, this is how we get water. This is how we get, drinkable water here. There we go. El botellón. But yeah, so this has just been a settling in period again. Not been out here for a couple of years. Last time I was here was Carnival 2023 or 2024. And it was absolutely incredible. But it's good to be back in again. What else have we been up to? Been just working hard on my business, working hard in the gym, continuing to practice cold approach, Been getting down to the gun range as well, so we've been doing a bit of shooting. And this live today is going to be all about preparation. Cold approach as preparation for life. And here's the thing, boys, is you never know what you're preparing for. You actually never know what you're preparing for. So when you're going out and you're pushing yourself in cold approach, what you don't realize at the time is, because it's such a confrontation with everything, like perhaps your fear of social disapproval, fear of rejection, fear of not knowing what you're doing, getting out miles outside your comfort zone. Because it's a confrontation with just a confrontation with this pure primal fear that almost goes beyond explanation, actually, just this rapid primal fear that guys get. Because you're confronting all of these things all at once in a way that we're not used to doing, right? We are used to, being gritty and determined at work. We are used to being gritty and determined in the gym. But what we are not used to in the modern world is severe emotional discomfort. We're not used to that at all. We actually suck at dealing with that. We're really bad with that. And well, so yeah, this is what cold approach does. It gets guys to start to confront this level of discomfort. And I would say almost the level of discomfort they experience at the beginning, that probably is proportionate to how sweet the victory is going to taste in the end, and they will get victory in the end if they're just able to continue. So even very good guys, even guys who've got the total complete package, they will still feel a little bit of something or other at the beginning. There's no way you're going to go into your first cold approach, the first few, and just not feel anything at all. Or it's very unlikely anyway. And most guys are going to feel something. And it just challenges you in so many different ways. Socially, I like to do it now really as a pretty hardcore challenge, like I'm actually liking the fact that Santiago is quite uncomfortable to approach solo. It's very conservative here, which is interesting considering it's Dominican Republic. I would put it about on a par with Serbia, maybe more in a certain way. It's actually very similar to Serbia in that regard. So yeah, it's still more Latin, obviously, but it's way more conservative than the capital. But yeah, cold approach is preparing you for things you don't even realize yet. So guys who I know from who've done it in an intensive way have typically leveled up their life in other ways as well. That they go hand in hand. So you step into a kind of new version of yourself where you go, you know what, I can go and approach these girls, and I am actually the fucking man. Yeah, you need to come and stop and talk to me. Hello, what are you up to today? Yes. Yeah, you start to build momentum, you start to build that self-esteem, you start to just feel yourself. And then you start to look perhaps at your work and go, why the fuck am I putting up with these retards in my work? Yeah, this woke politico fucking commissar bullshit that like modern day corporations have become. Like, they're not used to be like that, people. It's become completely fucking retarded in the last 20 years. Yeah, horrible environment, toxic environments people are working in. They go, why the fuck should I put up with this? Let me do something else. And there are many opportunities out there. There's any number of different opportunities online. Some guys start to work online. Baltus himself, started to work online after he learned cold approach to give himself more flexibility. Guys do all sorts. Start buying properties in new places. Start traveling to new places. Start learning. There's a couple of guys who started learning salsa, that I know. And it was off the back of, well, if I'm going to do this, I may as well push. I may as well go all the way. If I'm going to recreate this part of myself, let's extend it to all these other areas. And that's all awesome. That's all self-improvement. That's wicked. But there is another angle to all of this. There is another angle. It's when shit hits the fan, and it will hit the fan at some point for everybody. That's an inevitability. At some point, things will hit you, and that's just the way life is. That's the way human life is. You could be anything, right? People could be losing a job. It could be some health issues. It could be family issues. It could be any number of things, bereavements, etc., etc. Your company could foreclose. There's all sorts of things that can happen, and in those moments, the level that you are at, the level that you've pushed yourself to, but also the level of overall emotional maturity that you've developed, is going to define how you're able to handle those moments, and how also you're able to potentially at least assist in some way, at least set an example for other people to handle those moments. So this is actually a very underrated aspect of cold approach. I've been doing it 2 years, and I noticed after a couple of months, there was one day after I'd done a session, and there was someone in my family who I felt was getting not moving in the right direction, kind of floundering in something related to their business. And I thought, this is easy to resolve. Let me make a few calls. Let me speak to a few people. So I started to contact people. One person puts me in touch with the next person, and the next thing I know, I'm meeting with this family member and his new kind of consultant that's coming to help them. And the process got very far along. I basically assisted them in this process. I won't go into the details. It's just boring if nothing else. But I wouldn't have done that if I'd not done all of that cold approach in the previous month or two, because I was kind of like, well, I can fucking help here, and this situation needs someone to grab it by the horns and just go, no, we're going in this direction. And I was able to do that. And this has been a theme. This has been a theme through the last couple of years. It's leveled me up, and stuff that it's not the only thing that's leveled me up, but stuff that some people have told me I would have found that situation borderline impossible, such as being in Brazil with absolutely no money to my name, no access to any of my bank accounts. I remember speaking to friends and things at the time. One of my friends said, dude, I would be bouncing off the wall if I were you. And I was pretty calm. It was just very much calculating, okay, do I have enough water? Yeah, I've got enough water. How many days of food do I have? This many days. Can I get into work? Can I get online for work? Yeah, I can. Okay, so the basics are covered. What's my next move? And so, yeah, that ended up me getting my brother to send me some money through Western Union, which was, I mean, this is the real underground, migrant worker type of stuff. So yeah, I went to like this Western Union place in Salvador de Bahia, which is like, this is where like, if your husband is a builder in Miami or something, they send some money through Western Union. So, come back with like a backpack full of reals because it's pretty crazy currency. So that was just one example, but there's been others. And then sure enough, there's been one this week as well. And actually a pretty big one. No, in fact, a very big one. It's going to be an ongoing situation I'm going to be handling, which has created just a new environment for me, but also for other people as well. And definitely a challenging one. And yeah, what I realize now is like I'm able to handle these things pretty smoothly, and not perfectly. I don't want to actually give that impression. I'm definitely not, but relatively smoothly. And I do think part of this is due to cold approach. It's also other things I do as well. I do a process called the lightning process, which is a great state thing as well. And I've also started to incorporate the teachings of this guy I found online called Jerry Wise, who is a family systems expert. It's really, I've never seen psychology done like this before, where it's about the family system, and who is it? Obviously, parents are at the head of that, and if they have toxicity, disorders, personality disorders, alcoholism, drug addiction, violence, whatever it is, whatever their toxicity is, that tends, unfortunately, to be, it creates a systemic effect on the whole family. And as you're growing up as a child in that, you may be called upon to do all sorts of things that are just like caring for parents, all these different things, or just all these different roles that a child should not be playing in normal development. And that basically warps a person's development. So yeah, the guy's called Jerry Wise. I would really recommend him. If you're a person who is a child of someone who is either an alcoholic or has a personality disorder, his material will speak to you in a way very few. I don't think I've seen a lot online about these types of things. I've never seen someone with this level of insight. So I've just been applying some of his very basic principles to free stuff that he gives out online, and it's been such a benefit to me. It's been such a benefit to me. So cold approach, lightning process, this new stuff that I'm learning as well, it all actually has helped me to weather something which could be perceived to be extremely difficult, and also help other people in my family as well who are also weathering it, and dealing with many different difficulties right now. And I'm able to just be useful, but also maintain my distance as well. So yeah, if you're part of a toxic family system, people talk about, disattaching and disconnecting and going no contact. That probably isn't feasible or even the best thing for most people. What you want is like to be independent, to have your boundaries very clear, but also to have connection as well, to have some connection as well, right? Yeah, Jerry Wise, he calls it like, it's almost like two sides of the tennis court. There's a net in the middle, is a very clear boundary, and you play together, you play the game. You can walking over. It gets mixed up when people start to come over to the other person's side of the court and start interfering. So yeah, cold approach is one of those things. It's one of those tools that will help you to level up your life as a man. And the stuff that I'm seeing at the moment is just fucking insane what people are doing. All age groups, man. All age groups. I think it actually enables people to be more comfortable with tension and conflict as well, which is important. You need to be comfortable with tension. You need to be comfortable with conflict. You need to be able, if you're going to have a relationship beyond cold approach, you need to be able to very clearly call out things that you're not happy with, whilst at the same time having the confidence, this is not going to destroy my relationship unless if the person's completely abnormal. It should be fine. So it's a reflection, it's a mirror. everything you need to know about yourself, or unfortunately, many unfortunate truths will be revealed to you through cold approach. Yeah, Balthus had this when he came to Serbia and was like, I'm a bit too much of a Belgian waffle eater right now. I need to get a bit of that Serbian dog in me. Just a little bit more. He's already got it, but just a little bit more. I was the same. I was the same when I first came out to Dominican. I was like, fuck me, Jesus Christ, these guys are fucking beasts, man. These guys are fucking animals. Look at me, what an absolute fucking ponce, right? And I was considered like good in the UK before I did cold approach because of nighttime. And I came here, I was like, wow. Like, yeah, some of my friends out here were just leagues ahead of me. I was like, wow, you know. And this is the benefit of being around other good guys as well. The benefit of being around other good guys. If I just stayed in my zone in Sheffield, I would basically have been one of the best there forevermore. But the best girls are not there, and the best, most proactive go-getting guys are not there either. So I get out to other places and realize, yeah, I've got a lot to learn still. I've still got to develop. I'm not vicious enough at times with approach and with going after what I want, with going after the women. So yeah, travel was a big part of it, leveling yourself up. And the women will give you no bullshit feedback. You don't need to worry about that. If you are undesirable, the women will let you know very quickly. They will not want to be around you in your approaches. They will just buzz off. Yeah, they'll literally swerve around you. So women are good feedback. They give you good feedback in that respect. It's not that you should be judged. It's not that you should judge yourself on their judgments. You judge yourself on what you think of yourself. But at the same time, let's say you've done like X number of approaches. Let's say you've done 50 approaches and not one girl has stopped. There'll be technical things you're doing wrong there. There'll be technical things you're doing wrong. There may even be, you may be not presenting yourself too well either. You might need to change the way you dress. I think a lot of guys are quite poorly dressed. They don't have any style and a little bit delusional about, where they are on that front. Unless you're getting complimented quite frequently on your style by girls you meet and girlfriends, it could do with some work. Unless you're getting quite frequent compliments, it could do with some work. I always just think with approach as well, you don't have to be super stylish, but make your life as easy as possible. That's the way I see it. Make your life as easy as possible. Dress cool and just make your life easy. Cold approach is also modern day initiation. It's modern day initiation. I think a lot of people lack this. I feel fortunate, to be honest, that I had plenty of initiations when I was younger. I had to sing a rock song in front of it was a whole city first team when I was about 17, 18. This is what they do to the trainees. You have to get up, and I can't sing to save my life at all. So I had to learn the lyrics to a rock song and then sing it to a bunch of jeering 25-year-olds. Not even like normal men, like extreme alpha male professional football players. So this was my, one of my initiations for sure. And it was a good thing. It was definitely a good thing. I hated it. It was horrible. I felt so tense. I felt like I went into some really weird place of like, it was a very strange experience, but I'm really glad that they forced me to do that because it breaks into your ego a little bit. It stops you from being a sensitive little fucking soul. It was really good. It was really good for me. So I had plenty of initiation there. Had plenty of initiation on the sports field, high pressure sports, playing for contracts, playing for money. And then maybe some other initiations as well. So I felt like I was all right. Not really with cold approach though. That was something we just did in clubs. It was just what you did really. You didn't really worry about it too much. You just did it in clubs. But yeah, in 2025, where the average guy has got, people don't even hardly go to clubs. There's just no initiation rites for young guys anymore. There's nothing I can go to himself, right? I've got to go on this thing for a few days and I've got to fucking prove myself to myself, first of all, or maybe to other guys as well. Tribal initiation. We don't have that in the modern world at all, in any way, shape or form. So, like a frat party, just drinking loads of booze, is that really some initiation? It's not really. Anyone can fucking lift a glass to their fucking um, mouth, so that's not really doing the trick either. So for a lot of guys, it's a watershed moment where they get to go, okay, right, I'm going to push myself. I'm going to go into all these different sets, and everyone has their own experience of it. Some people relatively cruise it, but they've probably been through 10, 15 years of other forms of initiation. Most guys don't though. Most guys find it pretty tough, and yeah, it's a great thing to do. It's such a good way to spend a weekend, and you do come away feeling like you certainly have done something that very few other men have done over that 3 day period. If you've gone out and approached 60 women with a romantic intent in 3 days, then there's no other guy who's doing that during that time period. Even the guys who are like us lot who are just going after it, we're not doing 60 in 3 days very often, like maybe once or twice a year. But yeah, you sort of it's like doing buds for it's like doing buds what they do in the US military. It's like doing that for your social life, your social skills, and your confidence. So yeah, it's modern day initiation, and you can take it at any age. You could be 20, you could be 50. It doesn't matter. It still initiates you into a higher version of yourself. So yeah, and then from there, like there's new people I know in Cold Approach at the moment who've come in. Um, I predict that I predict that almost all of them, once they get cracking with the approach and they get some success, will start to look at other things in their lives. I think they'll probably all be either moving up, pushing their way up in companies or their places of work, or um, yeah, or starting their own companies. I definitely advocate guys starting their own shit. That's when you really know, like, how good are you actually? Are you actually any good when you've got to start your own thing? And that again, that's a humbling thing. You realize actually, fuck all. Where I don't care what degree you've got, what you've done. You realize once you start your own project, you really don't know that much. Yeah, it's like, okay, I need to learn from the ground up again. I need to go back to primary school and learn this shit all over again. Yeah, I would definitely advocate it. And also forming gangs as well. Forming gangs, ganging up with other guys who are going to do the same thing. It's one of the best ways to gain an advantage in a competitive system. It's the number two best way to gain an advantage in a competitive system is to form a gang. Yeah, group approach, group business, ideas and execution. This is the way to do things. It's a force multiplier. That's why big companies can so easily outcompete small companies most of the time. It's not even that the people are good. They're mostly not that good. There's just a lot of them. Yeah, but if you get a squadron of elite guys together, this is what I eventually want to do, is have my squadron of elite guys together, either on this island in the DR, or we found our own islands based on the model of a Greek city-state. We're going to have robot slaves. Because you need to have your robot slaves. Yeah, you can't be doing your own washing up. And yeah, we found a state based off the principles of the Greek city-state. It's going to be highly militant and also high art, and we'll all have like I don't know, 8 children per man. Yeah, the new Athenian Spartan hybrid. We'll call it Brothenia. But yeah. I mean, maybe that's a slightly exaggerated vision, but certainly having a gang of guys where we're starting to do more stuff together. It's already happened this summer in Serbia with Cold Approach, and I see it happening with Approach and with teaching and with coaching other guys. But I think it's going to happen in other areas of my life. I think other opportunities are going to come through. Always be on the lookout for potential new allegiances, potential new talent out there in the form of other guys. I had a conversation yesterday with an American businessman who's on the island at the moment. We had a very good conversation, and again, that's partly through Cold Approach. I was in my usual cafe. I think I'd already done an approach in the cafe, and then bumped into him and just had a bit of banter with him, and then we ended up getting into a really long conversation. because just common interest. You can kind of, as soon as you see someone, like, I'm like, okay, he's out here on the make, good, so am I. My thing out here at the moment is I want to start to move into higher echelons of society, not just hanging out with like, some fucking degenerates in the capital, European guys, and then some barrio girls. I mean, it's fun, but I want to actually make elite connections on the islands, like the absolute elite, commercial, political, supermodels. That's where I want to go. That's where I want to go next. And it's interesting, I was just thinking that yesterday, and sure enough, I meet a guy he's almost his, there are some guys out there, their thing is being a connector. That's their thing. If you ever find those guys, their value add to society and commercially is their connections. They are connectors themselves. They're like, if the economy is like, I don't know, all this series of pipes and everything, they're like that connection pipe that brings all these different people together. I'm like a laser, yeah, but if I can connect in, then I can connect into other people as well. So yeah, be on the lookout for those people. Like when you see them, make sure you get their contact and make sure you follow up, because interesting things open up as a result. That's been my experience so far. Could be social, could be other things as well, could be commercial. It's not all, the world is not all about, the world people want you to live in, the society wants you to live in is be a good boy, do your homework, get a pat on the head, don't talk to the girls. If you're socially approved to have a girlfriend, then we might allow you to do that. Go learn communism for 4 years at university, come out, and then go into this weird corpo, communist, feminist hybrid that is called a modern day Western company. And just basically slowly hate your life for the next 40 years and eventually die of some vicious disease which eats you from the inside out because you hate yourself, and have a wife, kid, they divorce you, your wife takes half your shit and your kid becomes a tranny. That is basically what is mapped out for guys now. Yeah, that is literally what's mapped out for guys now. And yeah, part of life is waking up. Part of life is fucking waking up and smelling what is going on. If you're European or American, if you don't have the sensitivity to see this kind of thing, like, it is time to wake up, and then you go out there and go, okay, well, what other guys have seen this? Yeah. Oh, okay, there's a guy online. Was he a magician? He seems cool. Let's go and do some stuff with him. What about this guy in Serbia, Wingbro? Let's go and do some stuff with him. That is the woman side of things breaks men out of the system the fastest and the first. The financial stuff, people clock it, and the cultural stuff, sometimes people clock it, sometimes they don't, because culture just seems normal. Like, oh, of course men and women are equal and all this stuff. Of course we shouldn't have borders, like whatever. Of course we all need to recycle everything, including our own bodies. When we die, we have to, give up all our organs to be recycled. Like all these different agendas, right, that are being pushed, and people see them as moral when many of them are completely immoral. Of course, a woman should have the rights to kill her own children. Of course, it's only natural. Of course, the last 300,000 years don't mean anything. No, now we're in civilization. Now that women can kill their own children, okay, and don't question it if you're a man. All of this bullshit, right, that is just brainwashed into the population of post World War II Europe. All of this stuff. Eventually, you will come to question it, but the thing that will break you out faster than anything is when you encounter women, because woman is nature. Woman is nature. Okay, so if you go over thinking, so some questions I've had, if you go over thinking it's equal, so if I like her and she likes me, she'll probably want to talk to me, she'll probably want to take my number, she'll probably ask me to come round and have sex with her, because that's what I would do. I'm a man, you're attractive, hey, what are you up to? Yeah. Okay, do you want to have, that's not how women operate. It's not how they operate. Oh, she just wants to have a peaceful, relaxing day. Oh, I don't mind what we do, love. What do you want to do? Yeah. This is not how they operate. This is not how the human female operates. Yeah, their mind does not work like this because they're an evolved creature. They are evolved in nature. So their attraction mechanisms do also rely, it's not just physical, despite what the looks Maxim Spurgs would have you believe, it is not just physical at all. It's predominantly behavioral. Yeah, they are evolved to respond to certain male behaviors such as leadership, such as sexual dominance, right? But also the other side as well, like, you know, like social, being socially astute. I was talking with Balthus yesterday about protecting a woman's reputation. You have the social astuteness to understand you also protect the girl's reputation, right? So all of these different social things, well, a guy who's got a little bit of some kind of social kudos somewhere as well, that can also be good. And you deal with real life women and you realize they're nothing fucking like you. They're absolutely nothing fucking like you. So the crap you were fed for your whole childhood in Western education, that men and women are the same and they're equal. Of course you can have female astronauts. Of course you can have female whatever. All of this garbage, it all becomes apparent that it was total shite. And then you start to go in different directions. You look on the internet, you go, how do I get women? I'm trying the equality thing, it's not working. And I see these thugs getting all the girls, or I see these crazy playboys who seem to treat them like, you know, treat others as you treat yourself. I wouldn't want to be treated like that. How does this work? What is going on? So men start to look into the psychology, they start to try and game and all this type of thing. And they start to realize I was completely fucking lied to about women. Yeah, completely lied to about women. Actually, what they need is a leader. Even better, a guy who's a little bit of an ogre as well. That's really, it's a fine line, right? It's a fine line, but that's really what they respond to. You're better off, in fact, you're better off overstepping the line in that direction than being too nice, than being too accommodating, right? You need to have a backbone. Yeah, you don't have to beat your chest about it. We don't all need to become Andrew Tate, right? Kickboxer. That's not necessary at all. Yeah, but you need to have a backbone. You need to show leadership. You need to show firm boundaries. You need to give her some guidance as well. You know, if I have like my girl around here, if I don't tell her what to do, like if she asks me, do you want anything? And I say no, she gets disappointed. I can see it in her face. She gets disappointed. Because she feels like, I'm not being useful to this guy, to my guy, the guy that I'm loyal to. Yeah. So all of this stuff and the sex stuff as well, you know, talk about sexual dominance. Just is this on the syllabus? You know, do people realize this? Sex positivity, body positivity. I saw this fucking thing in the UK. They're now this is not a joke. They're now regulating strangulation in the UK. Allegedly, they're going to try to. What kind of country do we have? You have to log on your passport to go on porn, right? If you want to find a prosty, you have to now show your passport details to just go on the fucking website. If you want to go on any type of porn, it's the same. Now they've got a ministry for the like something for strangulation. And I saw the cases. Some of the cases were actually legit. I can understand why, because it's obviously a crime to fucking strangle someone against their wishes, right? And there's obviously some psychos out there who fucking go way too far with it, nutters, right? But just look on TikTok at the fantasy of women having a guy take them by the neck. Their boyfriend comes over, looks down on them and takes them by the neck. All these girls, like, they get so excited by it, right? On fucking TikTok. I went through a phase for about 3 or 4 years. I said to a friend, I was like, can you find a girl who doesn't want to be strangled? And he was like, no, I genuinely can't. And this was like about 2018, 2022, something like that. Yeah, it was like, or tied up. Like, they all wanted to be fucking strangled. I was like, whatever, I don't know what books they were reading, whatever it was, right? Yeah, this isn't on the fucking syllabus, is it, of equality? Yeah. They all want to be bent over and have their hair pulled and their ass spanked. That's just normal. Yeah. So this dominant submission thing in sex, if you're not doing that, you are really missing out. You're really missing out. That's what, you don't need to bring it out on the first fucking date, but over time, that's what creates like, that creates the deepest level of loyalty and obsession in women is the sex. It's the sex. And it's not how long you can last in bed, it's the psychological submission. That's what it is. So yeah, all of these things are not fucking told to men. And then they get out into the real world, and if they're obeying all the rules, being the goody two shoes, I'll just treat her as I would want to be treated. It doesn't actually, half the time anyway, it doesn't fucking work. Yeah. And so a lot of guys, they go in the bad boy direction for a while. That's what I did. I went down the hardcore bad boy route because I was like, well, I know what I'm doing is not working. And I'm around a lot of girls. I can see the decisions they're making. Let me go in this other direction. Oh, it's weird. This is starting to work. And I was like, what happens if I go further and further and further? And almost the further I went, the more I got rewarded, to a point it kind of disturbed me. It actually disturbed me. I was like, yeah, it's stuff like so counterintuitive. Like the girl, first stripper that went out, this hot, very hot girl, I was 28. And the same night that I tried to pull her a few times, she wasn't biting. And the same night I pulled her, I pulled two other girls in an after party right in front of her, like right in front of her face. That's what got her over the edge. Yeah, the drama, right? The hypergamy. She's seen me kissing these two other girls in front of her. One of them was really fucking hot as well. And then, but the girl I wanted all along was this one girl, but it didn't play out. So yeah, with these, especially with the younger girls, like sexual competition, making them jealous and stuff, this is something I forget. I forget this, but I used to use that all the time. I don't really use it now, but maybe I should start using it again. I'm getting a lot of flaky younger women at the moment. It's kind of pissing me off, so maybe I need to start being a bit more of a gangbanger on that front again. No, not maybe, definitely. So yeah, all this stuff, it takes men off the beaten track, and they start to realize, well, the most fundamental things I was told are not true. So what else isn't true? And then they start to look. Maybe they start to travel. And they go, it's weird. I'm in this conservative country called Serbia, which is governed by Vučić, whose party is the hard right party of Serbia. It's weird because it's really nice. People are really respectful. The guys are solid, the girls are gorgeous, everything's calm, nothing crazy is happening, there's no crime, women are safe, they can walk home at any hour of the day. Or they go to the Muslim world and they go, yeah, it's not my people, it's not my thing, they're fucking strict as shit, but there's something here. Yeah, they've got a monoculture. Or they travel to Asia, or they travel to Latin America, they see things in different places and go, hold on a second. Are we just in some kind of weird brainwashing toxic system where all of our instincts are being subverted and we're being told that up is down, down is up, and everything is just kind of a big fucking lie? Yeah, and it's that's basically, and that's what I went through. That's what I went through. And I think a lot of guys go through it. And yeah, I just think back on how much time was lost, following poor paradigms. If your thinking is not correct, if the map you have for human existence, for life, for women, the financial world, the social world, the globe, if that is so warped by bullshit, you're not going to be effective. Yeah? And it was only when I started to develop a more accurate map through the internet, through life experience mostly, that I started to become more effective. But you just think, imagine if I'd been given this map at 12, imagine how dangerous I would have been. As it was, I didn't get my hands on the map till my mid-20s, my late 20s, started to take shape. Some guys go up until their whole lives. Some guys go into their 40s, 50s, There's a scene in The Matrix where, what's he called? Keanu Reeves' character, Neo. He has a realization that he's been in the Matrix all along, and he has a complete breakdown and he vomits. And Morpheus says to him, sorry about this. We normally don't take people out of the Matrix after a certain age. You're quite old, you're 30, it's quite old to be taken out of the Matrix. Your mind has become too attached to it. And it's kind of like, yeah, I think this is the aging boomers, the post-war boomers. I think that's I've had conversations with guys in their like 60s, American guys, who fundamentally don't get women on any level at all. And they like complain to me about they've been married and this, that. And I'm just like, they were like, yeah, I did everything for her and all this. I'm like, that's why, mate. Do you not get it? You doing everything for her is doing nothing for her. Yeah? Did you do the stuff I mentioned previously? No. So you didn't do anything, yeah? You just did what you were told, which was the wrong formula. And this is, girls are also victims to it, by the way. It's not just men. Women are victims to it as well. Oh, but I've got such a great job. My friends all love me. I've got such great friends and such a great job. High status. Why aren't the guys falling at my feet? I mean, I'm 36 now. It's so fucking stupid. It's so stupid. It literally goes counter to human biology. Yeah. Yeah, but they're brainwashed as well. And sometimes I would say it's harder for them to get out of it because they're honestly more egotistical in some respects. As a man, you have to, because it's sink or swim. It's kill or be killed. No one is coming for you. Yeah, your friends probably will even end up fucking leaving you. Yeah, if you become complete fucking loser. So men I do think we kind of have to grow up and grow out of it. Some places the girls can just be raised in that bullshit forever, and then they never grow out of it, and then they're too much little crabs to let the following generation. Like I'm 40, right? I could be a bitter old fucker, and I could spout shit to younger people about that I know is wrong. Yeah, because I'm like, well, I had to suffer. You're going to suffer now as well. But that's bullshit. That's not how humanity progresses. If I know something that can help a guy 10 years younger than me, and I know it's fact, I know it works, or 20 years younger than me, I'll just tell them. I'll just save. There you go. There's my gift to the world. I just saved you 20 years. Yeah. Maybe that guy gets a new girlfriend. Maybe he knocks her up, has a family. Yeah. I've actually been like fairly consequential in that happening, because of the information I've absorbed, which was hard earned. But I don't mind. That's what I'm here to do. That's the point of this channel. Anyone can tune in. Anyone can see these insights, and we spread them. Yeah, it's the only way we can progress in humanity, and the brainwashing is so severe that you need like people online spreading it, even if it's only to a small group of guys. Eventually, hopefully, it probably will become large scale, because the brainwashing nonsense is literally decivilizational and it's anti-human life. So it by definition can't go on forever. By definition, at some point breaks. When that is, so it could be 50 years, could be 30, could be 5. But by definition, it must break. It literally is impossible to sustain. It's interesting, you go to different places and it's like all these places are all backwards, the Balkans, Latin America. Yeah, they've all got higher birth rates than Western Europe. They're all like, oh, they're old-fashioned, they're machista. They're fine. The people are fine. The girls are happy. They don't have 40% of the women with anxiety and depression. They don't have like ridiculous male suicide rates. Yeah? The West is crushing people psychologically. And this is also why I think, guys, we also need to think about developing international businesses. Yeah, this is what I want to work with, an international clientele within Wingbroke, because there are guys all over the world that need this knowledge, all over. Probably, what do I need to have an incredible lifestyle? 20 clients a year? That's all I actually need. So, yeah, how many of those can we start to pull from all over the world? And then we're not dependent on one territory. This is international knowledge. And then even if you've got a business in your country, can you start to internationalize it? If you've got a job in one country, can we go remote? Can we start to live a more international lifestyle? That is really the way the elite is going to go, the spiritual elite. But you're going to have to, this is not going to be laid out for anyone. This is going to have to be, you're going to have to figure this one out. But yeah, I mean, with that in mind, in the new year, I will be starting Brat But Undergrounds. It will be a remote support group. I'm just, to be honest, the reason I've not done it already was I wasn't convinced I had enough people. and I've just had loads of other shit to do recently, but I will be starting that. I feel like January is a good. We can do it before then, but I feel like January is a new year. It'll be a good time to start it. And this is with existing clients and one or two other people as well. And we're going to be talking about stuff that's not just going to be girls. It's going to be international travel. It's going to be potentially looking at, okay, how do we set up businesses overseas? How do we buy properties overseas? Where do we buy the properties? Where are the opportunities? I've got a lot more to share than just picking up girls. I've lived in like more than 10 different countries and traveled extensively. I don't even know how many countries. When you live somewhere long term, if you're smart, you see what opportunities are there. And there's places I know that are like almost a guaranteed win. Like almost a guaranteed win. They're buying property. Like it's like buying property in the UK in the 1970s, right? And just holding it for like 50 years. There are places like that now that I know of that no one fucking knows about. Just because I've just got interesting tastes in travel. You realize as well, a lot of these places that you've never even fucking heard of, actually they're really nice. They're really fucking nice. They're nicer than your own country. People ask me about the DR, is it dangerous? Compared to what? Compared to Sheffield? No. Compared to London? No way. Yeah. You could walk around the centre here. It's impossible for you to get robbed. Impossible. It won't happen. Yeah. You could walk around with your phone. It would be 1 in 100,000 chance that, like London is like 1 in 3. 1 in 100,000 chance something happens to you. And if it does, and they catch the guy, you know what will happen to that guy? He will be beaten black and blue. He will have fractured orbitals. He will have broken arms. The police might even break his leg. I'm not even joking. And they'll just drop him off at the hospital, and that'll be it. There'll be no investigation. There'll be no brutality charges. There'll be nothing. If they kill someone, they might have to take a month off work. That's the level of severity of enforcement here. Yeah, so if you're a criminal here, if you attack a tourist, you're fucked. But even local people, like if they actually catch you, they're a gang. Dominican police are an organized gang. They'll just beat the crap out of you or kill you. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, it's safe. As a result, it's safe. Who would have thought that having a terrifying deterrent of guys going around on motorbikes with shotguns and like some of the police just carry a black metal baseball bat or cattle prod. I've seen them cattle prodding someone. Who would have thought that would actually be an effective deterrent for criminality? Terrifying police. Turns out it is. Even in a place which has had crime in the past, it's been underdeveloped. It's now safer than the UK by far. It's not even close. Europe, man, is. So I have such hatred for the people who've been in charge. They've literally taken a perfect continent. 20 years ago was still amazing. They've literally turned it into. Oh my! It's unbelievable what they've done. Meanwhile, other places used to be backward and shit. Serbia, Macedonia, like they used to be considered absolute shitholes. Dominican, for example, they're actually overtaking. So yeah, it's a topsy-turvy world. You need to know how to move in it in going forward. You can't just expect now to work in a Western country. Work, pay your taxes, and right, do your down payment and all that. They're talking about 50-year mortgages in America, 50 fucking year mortgages. Yeah, you've got all of this predatory stuff happening in all these countries. It's unsustainable. It's unsustainable. You need exit ramps, man. You need like serious exit ramps at the moment. And an international business or international mobility is part of that. Is absolutely part of it. And then on the plus side as well, you also get access to better women. It's just win-win-win all the way around. And unless even Trump, man, even what he's doing, I don't want to go on too much about politics, but how much can he even do with the USA? How much can he can turn that place around? I mean, he can stop. I think ICE is a good thing. Stopping just ridiculous amounts of like fucking Haitians moving to like Wisconsin is probably a good idea. but how much can he even do long term? How can it be saved? And then that's never mind Western Europe. Fucking hell, you know. So yeah, if you don't want transgender children, you might have to start looking overseas. This is why white guys convert to Islam, because it's like at least it's a gang with some kind of you know, even if some of the stuff is a bit crazy, but like at least it's something I can latch onto, which allows me, at least gives me an angle on masculinity. Yeah, it's not the angle I would go down, but I prefer the Latin approach. I feel that's the most healthy approach to men and women. Each side expresses their own nature, and there's mutual kind of admiration and flirtation, but neither side really suppresses themselves. And because the men take the lead, like sexually, like to a ridiculous extent, the women are a bit more sexual as well in some cases. In many cases, in fact, because the men take the lead, so it's like they kind of following the male behavior. Yeah, in our countries where the men are also stifled, the women become stifled as well. They're waiting for us. Yeah, it's in their nature to do that. Yeah, if we set the tone, you see it with girls, like when they're around a rowdy bunch of boys, a lot of girls like it. They like it because it lets them like let their hair down a little bit from the fucking horrible catty sisterhood. They actually like it. So yeah, international mobility is a key part of all of this. Yeah, it's amazing that there's a guy that we know who's he's like buying like properties all over the place because he wants to have better playgrounds to go and meet hot women in, you know. That's my end game as well. Is an international, you know, just a low key international portfolio. It doesn't need to be huge, but just 3 or 4 around here and there. I can just go, just be myself, be around. I absorb atmospheres as well, so like being around a good atmosphere, I feed off it. So what have we got in the chat here? We've just got Balfours. Does anyone have any questions? We've got 5 viewers. That's not too bad. Just a quick 50-minute rant. My water has still not arrived. These Colmado fuckers. Lazy bastards. I would have tipped him 100 pesos. That's like 2 quid. Let me show you around, actually. This is the place. So, balcony there, main living room here, kitchen space. First bedroom. Actually, Balthus and Ephraim. Boys, I'm just looking into carnivals in February. So that's this place here. If I can get this for February, there's a 2nd floor. I won't take you because I don't lose reception, but there's a 2nd floor it's up here with bathroom and bedroom as well. So we could come here for a full-on month, fucking cane the carnival. There's carnivals here, there's carnivals in another town about 30-40 minute bus ride away. And there's a month of carnival. So we could actually come, just have a load of fun, do a load of filming and just show people, just show the world, you know, just cold approaching an absolutely mental carnival environment. I should have my glasses by then, maybe buy another camera as well. I think this would be a great gift for humanity. We could do that, and I'm sure it will generate some clients as well. You know, people have honestly seen nothing on this channel yet. I've put up nearly 400 videos, and people have seen nothing. What's going to come in 2026 is going to be so much further forward compared to where I am now. But here's where am I going next? I'm staying in Santiago for 2 more weeks, then I'm going back to the capital for Christmas. I'll be there probably till mid-January, and I'll either stay till the end of January and then come up here for the whole of February, or I'll come back to Santiago mid-January. I don't know. Or maybe I'll go to the beach for a couple of weeks and come here. I don't know. But I'll be in the DR till at least the end of February. Maybe end of March, I don't know. there's a bit more, there's more uncertainty in my life at the moment. There's uncertainty in my life at the moment based on some stuff that's happening at home, which I may it may be a good thing for me to go back to the UK for a period of time, spring, basically springtime, which I wasn't planning on doing, but it may be the right thing to do. I'll have to see. Um, so yeah, where are you based, Mahid, by the way? Because you comment on a lot of my lives. Yeah, that was unscripted today as well. So I'm gonna do a more scripted video, maybe even a live on the politics of cold approach, because I was thinking today, how could I steelman the case for becoming more left wing through daytime approach? And it's pretty hard to do. It's pretty hard to do. You're gonna move right politically. You're just going to. As you discover nature, the way I see like intelligent people on the right thinking is wanting to be in touch more with the kind of human tribal nature of our existence and the limitations of natural life. We all have a lifespan, women have a fertility window, and all these things like they do actually define the very limits of our existence. We can't just go and be anything we want. Um, but anyway, I'm not gonna. This is not particularly political, but I was thinking, how could I steelman a case for a guy who came to do cold approach and became? You're not going to become more woke. That's just impossible, in my opinion. Could you become more left wing? What you could do, but I don't think this is a left wing thing, but you could say some of these tradcon type of guys. So let's say the right wing trad Catholic guy. He has also got a blind spot, for sure. He's got a blind spot, which is female sexuality. And so they're also missing an aspect of truth as well. Or the women just want to be housewives and the men just want to be house husbands. That's also not true. That's also not true either. So, yeah, it's strange. They see themselves as like, right, I almost think they're traditionalists. To me, though, yeah, they're not quite left wing. There's something else, though. There's something else. Um, oh, you're Canada. Yeah, you're based in Canada. Yeah, there was a guy I spoke to last week from Canada. So I've had a few guys calling in from Canada. I mean, it's a pretty woke environment up there. The good thing about woke girls, though, is, and American girls, Canadian girls are good crack. Easy to lay, dude. Easy to chat up. There's a guy commented on my most recent video about the autistic student who got laid last week. He said, "Oh, you're getting, you're probably getting your results because you're traveling." It's like, no, mate. It would be interesting to see you do videos in the UK. It's like, I've done videos in the UK. You can see them on the channel. And most of my experience, 90% of my experience, is still in the UK because I had three or 4 years of a nightlife, obscene nightlife lifestyle, and then 3 or 4 years of being a club promoter. That's about 8 years of like approach in the UK in the night, and then another period of time as well after my immersion. And the UK is easy. It's easy. There's no competition. There's no competition at all. Me and Christian were out like in a year ago, like a year, 18 months ago. And was it? Yeah, it's 18 months ago, I'd say, or something like that. I just got back in after a year of doing cold approach in Brazil and in Dominican. He'd been probably Thailand, wherever he'd been. He's been obviously doing it for a long time. And we met in Manchester and we just had a blast for like 2-3 days. All these different guys came in. It was fucking amazing. And we were just running the streets, just 4 or 5 of us just running the streets, absolutely running everything. And I said, well, how do you find being back? And Christian just goes, I just feel superior to everyone else. And I was like, I didn't think of it in that way. I was thinking, but yeah, he's essentially right. I was like, yeah, I just feel there's no competition. That's how I feel in the UK. There's no competition. What men are stepping up? Yeah, they've all been beaten down. The only men who've got a bit of edge to them actually is like some working class guys have. Some Muslim guys have, a few of these hardcore aristocrats have, or they used to have anyway. But the masses, the middle classes in the UK, pretty fucking eunuched, to be honest. Yeah, it's it may not be. Yeah, Mohit, you've probably got a few blind spots, mate, because there will be Pakistani guys in Canada who are getting laid, and who are just doing well, for sure there will be. So people, this is not to offend you, but people say things like in comments and stuff and on my channel where they'll say, "Oh, it's hard because I'm Indian, it's hard because I'm white, it's hard because I'm old, it's hard because I'm 5'6", it's hard because of X, Y, Z." And I guarantee in every case, I either know a direct example who would prove the exact opposite is the case, as in, well, they're going out and they are getting really good results, daytime, nighttime, whatever it is. So usually guys have got blind spots, which they attribute to the surroundings. Yeah, it's very rare a culture. The cultures where you just truly can't do cold approach. You're literally talking like Kabul, Afghanistan. Yeah, some of it like Christian went up to Oslo and said it was quite tough. The people were just, you can still do it, but it was like a real hard slog. The people just didn't get it. Even like Santiago here, this is way more conservative than the capital. I still got two numbers on Friday, and it was like in cafes as well. So you can always do it. Most of the time you've got blind spots. And I'd say that to myself as well. There's times where I was doing things and I didn't realize in the past I was doing something wrong. And probably even still to this day, there might be one or two things I'm still not aware of, right? I'm aware of everything that anyone else is aware of. The guys who are the best at this, I know everything that they do. Maybe I know one or two other things as well on the back end, but because we pool knowledge, it's very advanced what we've got. The system that I run is the only peer-reviewed cold approach system where every single weekend stuff is being tested by a dozen guys every single weekend, and I'm out every fucking weekend, yeah, even at 40. So if there are other things that need to be added in or stripped away, yeah, I'll know about them imminently. But I think most of the stuff, certainly enough to be effective, more than enough to be effective, I already know. This point actually for me, I honestly go out just to stay sharp. One of the things I find is like going in for sets where I routinely force closes just to force the close. And I don't even want the close. I did this yesterday. Yeah, and on Friday as well. The girl yesterday, actually, she didn't give me the close. She gave me the Insta. I was like, I did the standard. Okay, we'll fight. No, I don't want your Insta. I don't want to be a fan. Blah, blah, blah. And she fought her corner. I was like, she was with her mate and we were in a cafe. I don't know, whatever. I think in the background, I think she had like there was something going on with her and some other guy. I'm sure there was, just from a few things they said in the conversation. But my point, that is, I didn't even want to close her, but I was just like, no, you have to. Same with one of the approaches on Friday. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look. You're looking into your finances, you can invest in coaching. Yeah. Yeah. $7,000 for dating apps. No, I would say dating apps are, I wouldn't discount them. Don't pay $7,000 for photos. So you can get a photo shoot done for like $500. Like you could get like a decent photo shoot done. You could get a couple done for like $1,000, and then you can go, okay. You want photos that are like very calculated. You know, you could do some AI shit with them, you know, or just like some hot girl with you alongside you. Maybe you with a group of guys. Maybe you speaking at public speaking event, showing all these things, right? Leadership, you know, charisma, all of this. But I've actually never really done that. So, but I know that it does work. There's guys I know I've seen, they've showed me their shit and I'm like, yeah, it does work. It's just not me. I just don't want to live like that. I don't want to live like that. But having a dating app in the background as a kind of passive income, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. And you can kind of, yeah, if you do happen to meet someone there who you wouldn't have met in your local area, then that's only a good thing. But in general, you get no self-development out of apps, or none at all. I used them out of necessity during the pandemic, but I always hated them. Even though I did meet some good girls there, overall, maybe one of the best I've ever met was on an app. So I'm grateful for that, and I would never. She was from the part of the far-flung part of the city that I would never ever encountered her. So I was glad about that. So in that sense, it paid off. But most of the girls, I just prefer that raw feeling of just being out in nature. I think it's good for me. I think it's good for my overall profile. The stuff I said earlier on about how it levels you up. It levels up your self-confidence. It shows you where, okay, maybe I need to work on this. Okay, fine, let's do it. Maybe I need to get some other guys to go out. Okay, let's do that. Maybe I need to travel. Maybe I need to just, get in a little bit better shape. Maybe I need to, or just be more fucking confident. Yeah. Not 2x confident, 10x confident. And it'll just level you up, man. And you don't get any of that with dating apps. You actually get worse. You get more passive, more weak. You become more of a fucking eunuch with dating apps. So yeah, that's a ridiculous side. I mean, there'll be guys who've got the cash who will just do it. I mean, why not? I suppose if you've got 100 grand lying around, pay 7 grand for some photos. But yeah, with daytime approach, I would say it's something that if you're the right guy, you have to be of a certain standard. You do have to be of a certain standard in your presentation. But if you're the right guy, it will just it will completely blow open your options, man, in an incredible way. Yeah, one of the guys from this summer, an English guy who came out to work with me, I pretty much knew even when we spoke, I was like, if this guy even gets respectable in his approaches, he's going to be awesome. So he came out to Belgrade. Might be watching actually. And yeah, I was getting results within 4 or 5 approaches. And there were still issues that needed to be ironed out, but we're just getting results very quickly. So for the right profile of guy, all you need is just even 3-4 basic points. And then, as you get more experience, you want to be more consistent over time. There is more stuff you need to know, and then more stuff you need to unlearn as well. So yeah, it's an amazing thing, to be honest with you. Yeah, but I would, get saving, mate, get saving. I'll be interested to know what the Canada environment is like. Were you the type of person that would travel to do an immersion? Would you go somewhere far-flung, try it out in a different country? I don't imagine there's much cold approach going on in Pakistan. That's pretty fucking... Yeah, that would be another one. It's that was one where genuinely that ain't gonna happen. Probably, I don't know. I doubt it's gonna happen. Islamic girls, though, they're no different. It's like the thing I said about Catholics. They're no different. They're born they're the same age species as all the other girls. They're old. Yeah, their tits are old. Their clitoris is old. I mean, in terms of evolutionary, right? It was way before the religion came along. So they have all the same instincts. The ones in Western countries often break away from the faith as well. Yeah, I'm definitely on the fence about that religion. In its place, in its place, fair enough. But there are some good qualities to it. As I mentioned, that there's a kind of gang aspect to the guys. They get to have a brotherhood, literally. So that's actually very healthy. That's very good. But yeah, I think some of the stuff, it's definitely not for me. Let me put it that way. Yeah. So 1999, is that your date of birth, by the way, if you don't mind me asking? So that would make you what? That'll make you 26. Yeah. It's worth investing in. If you are in your 20s, it's worth investing in sooner rather than later, because the sooner you get it handled, the more time you have to enjoy and select your options, and the less bad habits you're going to get into. you're not going to fall into decade-long bad habits, and also mindsets and worldviews. And I do wonder, some guys who can't handle it, I do wonder, is it just because they've got a worldview that they're clinging to? And like all the stuff I outlined earlier on that I had to drop as I grew up and learned about things, how actually things really worked. And I've not even gone very deep, to be honest, on this life. I've not even scratched the surface. But as I started to drop my illusions, it's a painful process, because it's admitting to yourself that you were stupid. And no one wants to feel, and well, you weren't stupid, but you believed a lie, which didn't really make sense, but everyone was spouting a lie. Yeah, it was so ingrained in the culture. And that's actually painful, because they call it red pill rage. It's a bit much to call it rage, but you know, I think a lot of people go through that. But it's better to go through it and think, okay, fine, where's the lay of the land? Yeah. Yeah, so you're 26. It's a good age, mate. It's a very good age to learn approach. And yeah, you've got it all to come. There's guys we're meeting recently in their 50s, and some of the best guys I've seen have been in their 50s. Fucking monsters, absolute monsters. I've got a mate in Santo Domingo. He's 72, I think. He's an absolute animal. I was with him the other day, and I thought, like, I was kind of like, oh, I had a coffee with him, and I was like, I kind of want to ditch this guy, because I want to go and do some approach. I want to meet some girls. And as we were walking back, I was like, oh, I might speak to some girls on the way back. And he was like, oh, great. And we're walking down. He goes in straight away. He goes in before me. 72 years old, straight in there. Absolute fucking beast. I was like, okay, fair enough. And then I met someone later on, and he was a great wing. He just was like, oh mate, I've got to go to. He walked with us for a bit. He winged me with the friends, and then he goes, oh mate, I've got to go to the supermarket. That is true wingmanship. He just left me alone with the girl once it was established. So yeah, you can do well at any age, but learning at a younger age is an advantage. Some of the younger guys that we I've come into contact with, it kind of does one of a few things. If everything is in place mentally for them, psychologically, emotionally, and then they don't have any outstanding issues that need to be handled through no fault of their own, but there's nothing there, then really they can build quite rapidly, and they can build, solid foundations for the rest of their life. In terms of interpersonal development with women, what I bring to the channel and I bring to the space, albeit it's a small channel at the moment, is there is should we say, the intellectual content of approach, but without I'm not an intellectual in the sense I'm out there doing it all the time, but like building out the understanding so that these kind of intellectual guys can come in and go, I think Wingbro he's giving some counterintuitive truths here, and I think he's probably right. It's almost like, because the red pill sounds all perfect, and it does have some truth to it, and like wokeism, it sounds all good. We're all equal, men and women equal. That all sounds good, but it doesn't map onto reality. So you almost need someone who's got a bit of a slight intellectual bent themselves. You need them to come along and give a fresh map. That's what I'm doing here. It's just what I've been doing for guys as well. Some stuff that I wish I'd had when I didn't fucking know anything when I was 20, 21. I had some older guys who helped me, and then I just had to keep learning. And that's all I'm doing on this channel, just helping. Yeah. And I seek advice from older guys than me as well. I'm 40. But I've got friends in their 50s. I've got friends. I've got now 2 good friends in their 70s, and they're invaluable. They're really invaluable. Maybe to a younger guy, the distance would be too big. But for example, my friend who lives in Thailand, he's 73, 74. I said to him the other day, I'm feeling this about being 40. I was like, in some ways I'm feeling good. I feel like I've got good authority now. Like I have another level. It's just, I'm like, sometimes I'm even in a supermarket and I'll just think to myself, wait, I'm 40. I need to start ordering people around for something. But And there was something else. I can't remember what I said to him, but I was like, maybe I hadn't. I'm thinking, what do I do next? I had planned up to 40. I hadn't actually planned. I planned all my 30s and pretty much did, got everything in the right direction. 40s I hadn't planned. And he just gave me context. He was like, well, look, dude, 40 it's not actually very old. Like, you're still going to be like this until you're like 55, for example. That's pretty much what he said. So he's like, yeah, you can have another 10, 15 years of doing what you're doing. Or if you want to find someone and settle down and have a family, you can do that along the way. That was kind of the crux of what I was wondering. It's like, should I just go right now? Like, do I need to find someone right now? Because I don't quite, I've got candidates, but I don't quite know if I've got the one where I would go, that is for sure the best I can do, for sure. I don't know if I have that until I inseminate Miss Universe. But anyway, he just gave me context for life, and he's like, yeah, these older guys can give you a lot of context, especially if they've lived. My friend out in Thailand, I don't know anyone who's had a life like this guy. I don't know anyone. His life is absolutely fucking insane. So he's definitely lived. So just invaluable. And yeah, it's useful. It's useful for younger guys. I was definitely hungry for it when I was younger as well. It's like, if I can get good advice, I'll take it and apply it. And even, as I say, even to this day. And even if someone younger comes along and they're doing something, I go, wow, they're just reminding me of something I just got lazy and I stopped doing. Or they just like, they maybe have a new angle. Yeah, let's try that, Yeah. Yeah, the goal really is to have lots of men in happy relationships or in happy single life. A happy single life does involve getting laid, it does involve pulling women. It's just a reality. Maybe you have times where you're going a bit solo for a while, that's fine, but you need to know that you've got that in the back pocket. If you wanted to, you could go out for a month and you could go and make it happen. That's part of being happy as a person. Or if you do find a girl, you do find a woman, you actually understand a little bit of female psychology, a little bit of female sexuality, and you understand how, a few things you need to do, and maybe one or two things you need to not do, just to make it flow, just to make it work and make her devoted to you. It's not that complex, really. You just have to do the right stuff. People talk about hypergamy. There's girls who, once they've got their eyes set on a guy, they're just obsessed. They're obsessed with that guy. They're just obsessive. And other guys might come into the picture, but it's pretty difficult to break into that. Even if guys, first of all, in the modern world, guys are barely approaching in Western Europe. So like you've not got much competition anyway. But let's say one of our friends from my group, a Balthus or a Senator Winner comes in and swoops in. Even like a very good cold approach guy, if the girl's already obsessed with another guy, she might even give the number, but she's gonna pass. She's not gonna risk her absolute obsession, even if a new guy comes along with an intriguing offer. Yeah, it's just not gonna happen. But if the guy is actually shit in his relationship, doesn't really know what's going on, then it's at risk, and it's a constant risk that he doesn't know about. Yeah, so that's the other side, is the longer term stuff. So much content we could talk about here. I could talk about it for fucking hours on end, but I will have to leave. And guess what I'll be up to this afternoon? You can probably fucking guess. I'm either going on a date or I'm doing approach. One of the two. Maybe both. We'll see. But yeah, hopefully that's been a useful one, Mohid. Yeah, I mean, work on the financial stuff. If you do want to get on a call at some point, you can check on the details. Yeah, you want to be comfortable enough where you can go, okay, right, I'm gonna invest in this. For me, my programs are you have the immersion, but then you also have 90-day support as well. So the immersion is really where you get a 10 years of approach done in like 3 days, basically. And then you also get 90-day support. That's built in as well. That's obviously 3 months of continuous approach that I will support guys in, and you will get to your result. In the meantime, I would say in the meantime, while you're saving your finances, I would recommend covering bases. So the stuff I mentioned earlier on, the physical stuff, make sure you're at a decent weight. If you're not hitting the gym at the moment, you need to start. If you're not doing that already, you need to be doing. Again, we want to make your life as easy as possible. So twice a week, resistance training. That's all you need to do. Yeah. And make sure your body fat's not crazy. You don't have to be some skinny, ripped maniac. I'm probably a bit lower body fat than I need to be, but just in some kind of all right shape. Make sure your dress and style is actually stylish. You don't want to just be the guy who goes out in like a tracksuit, or like even going out too formal, like a buttoned up suit. That's also not really great either, unless you're in like a very, very high class situation. Most of the time you want it to be urban cool. That's what you want to go out like. And then also just your overall social skills, your overall social life. Make sure you are, just make sure you're building a social life, whatever that is, some description. Even if that social life is only, I'm in Santiago, I just go to the same cafe every day. Yeah, there you go, there's my social life. Talk to everyone in there, talk to newcomers, talk to staff. There you go, I've built a social life in 2 weeks. It's not that difficult. Same in the gym, same with dance and salsa. So if you get those sorted out, get the physical, get the wardrobe, and then just get a social life. Yeah, this is baseline. This is not going to get you the result. This is just a baseline. So we make your life easier, right? Because if you're going out into the street, way out of shape, wheezing because you can't like walk around properly, and you've got terrible dress sense, with amazing approach and skills, you can probably overcome it. But you're going to have to weather a 15-second period at the start of the approach where the girl's instant reaction might not be very good. So I prefer guys to come ready where that instant reaction is, oh, that's the kind of curiosity. This is nice, or maybe even better, he's hot, and then from there you just move her through your process. So in the meantime, while you're saving, I would really recommend working on that stuff. It's going to give you a good baseline, a good foundation. Yeah, it won't get you the result. Looks maxing does not get you the result. Social maxing does not get you the result. God, I can't believe I'm using these words. But if you just take care of those areas, they just give you a nice foundation, make your life easier. That's what we want to do. And then when you get a few results, then the confidence really starts to flow. So boys, we'll leave it there. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. Hopefully that's been useful. Went on all sorts of different topics. That was complete free range, no plan at all there. Yeah, we'll see how that turns out after watch it back later on today. Take it easy, boys. Wahid, good to see you again, mate. And best of luck up there in Canada. Hope it's not too cold for you.